And I'm back, and welcome to Everyday Projects. And I have something a little different for you today. I have two pieces of equipment that were homemade by a family member years ago. One of them is a homemade snowblower, and the other is a homemade powered hacksaw. Anyway, this was done in the days when, commercial snowblowers weren't readily available, or industrial shop equipment, may not have been available in this area. So they went ahead and made their own equipment. Anyway, so both of these things are homemade, and they both incorporate parts of motorcycles. For example, there's a motorcycle engine in the snowblower, and there's a motorcycle transmission in the powered hacksaw, and I think you're going to find them quite interesting. Let's get started and take a look at those. Okay, so here's the snowblower, and there's one engine here that drove the wheels, and there's a wheel missing on this side, but there's the other wheels there, and there was a separate engine to drive the auger and the snowblower end of things. That's all homemade, and this engine is detached, so I don't know why it's like that, but it's been apart, in pieces for a number of years. Something went wrong with it, I guess, at some point, but they never got back to it. And there's the details on the drive for the wheels. This could be, I don't know what that is. Let me see here. Okay, so I'm turning this by hand here. I see. All right. That's quite a contraption. Let me take a look on the other side here. You can see the exhaust pipes, typical of a motorcycle engine. I'm just trying to figure out how this is configured here. This motorcycle engine drives that shaft that on the one hand turns a chain, and it turns this fan. So there's the fan that blows air over the fins on the engine to cool it, because normally that gets cooled by the motorcycle, driving down the road, and the air passes over this. But in a stationary engine, it needs a fan to blow air over it, so that's that. Okay, that's the auger. That's the auger turning up front. And I don't quite get what this other pulley is here. What's that about? Okay, the motorcycle engine, okay, I got it wrong. The motorcycle engine at the back turns the auger in the front. All right, and it would be this engine that would turn this, and this is the selector for it, that would turn the wheels. Okay, so the back engine runs the snowblower, and the front engine runs the wheels through this. And if I'm not mistaken, that's a motorcycle. I think that might be a motorcycle transmission. I'm not sure. And this looks like the selector for it here. That shaft goes through all the way back to this handle here. Oh yeah, look at that. So, isn't that a motorcycle? How a motorcycle changes gears, with the push down, push down, push down for higher gears. And there'll be neutral there at some point. Huh. Anyway, I don't know what kind of a motorcycle that came off of, but I don't see a maker's mark on it. But if anyone knows what that might be, just put your suggestion or put your ideas down in the comments if you think might know what that engine is. This all looks like homemade. All this fan shroud is homemade. That and the tank pulled off of something. And that's the drive. You can see where that chain drives that shaft that runs underneath. It's hooked to that there. And that would be the auger. See, this is the direct shaft coming through there. is turning that thrower part of it. That's that shaft, and then this one here is geared up to turn the auger, to turn this. Maybe there was a pulley here that went to the end of that, because I see that shaft turns. See that shaft? That shaft is turning. I'm gonna move this one. So that's what it is. Yeah, there would have been there's something missing off of it there. It would have been another sprocket over here to turn the auger. But you can see they incorporated plywood in it. There's old metal of all sorts. And anyway, that's one of these things I was going to show you. Not sure what any of it is. Okay, that's the snowblower. Now let's go in and take a look at that powered hacksaw. Okay, so here's the powered hacksaw. And it's got a, oh, hang on a second. I think this is a motorcycle transmission here as well. And it's all been homemade. There's a little hydraulic ram here that helps lower the cutting blade down a little at a time. There's the motor down there. Let's just try this thing out here. Plug it in. Okay, now. Okay, let's just try this. I believe there could have been different speeds. Let me see. What's that? Oh, I feel several different indentations here. So let's try that. Oh, dead slow. Look at that. Let's try the next one out. Let's try the next one. Huh? Let's see. Different speeds. Let me think. Let me see if I can remember how this works. This big lump of lead here, he had it on the top for weight to give it, he had it set across here. And there's a vise in here to hold pieces. Something to do with this. This is how it sets it down. So, okay, let's try and, I got a piece of stock here, a couple inches in diameter. Put that in there. Let's see. All right, okay. I think there's a way to let this down a little quicker. Turn this. And that's where the weight came in. That's where you had this piece of lead sitting on the top. That would certainly take the work out of having to saw off a piece of stock, wouldn't it? that could take some time to get through there, but you get the idea. Pretty cool, huh? Look at that thing. Again, I'm not sure what motorcycle this came out of, but I'm pretty sure he said it was a motorcycle transmission. And here's another example of something completely homemade. Born out of necessity when they didn't have the money to go and buy a commercially built one that was going to probably be, you know, even back in the 40s and 50s, it would have been maybe hundreds or thousands of dollars to get one of these. And they just didn't have the money, so they made it out of parts they had. Really ingenious, really, you think about it. As I'm looking at it here, I realize there's another component. They might have added it later. But see this plate here, and there's a switch in there, and it's connected to the motor. So when this plate touches that switch, it would stop the motor. And that's connected to this arm, so it means that whenever the blade got down below the bottom of the vise, which is the finish of the cut, it would automatically stop the motor. The motor wouldn't just continually run. So what they could do is they could set this up, oil it, and, you know, turn their back on it for a few minutes, you know, and then come back every now and periodically and add some oil. And then when it did finally finish the cut, the motor would stop. Anyway, I thought I'd like to show you those two items. Very curious. I've seen them around here since I was a kid. And they were built long before I was born. And anyway, the man that made these is passed on. And whatever details that went into the making of it is gone with him. You know, this is as much as I know that I can share with you. But quite a curious thing. It's, like I say, necessity is the mother of invention, right? You can want to have something, you can want to buy it. You know, back in those days, when they wanted something, they'd make it. And two good examples right here, a powered hacksaw and a snowblower. And made in this shop probably, you know, 80 years ago. And anyway, just thought I'd show you those two bits of curiosity from this old historic machine shop. And anyway, thanks for watching. Comments down below. Give us a thumbs up if you like this kind of stuff. And we'll see you again here very soon on Everyday Projects. Bye for now.